Hello, hello, hello. 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 Alright, it's echoing now. We can stop that. What's up, people? Let me just get this right. And do this. I'm still relatively new to this. So bear with me. I want to see my chat. And I want to see this. Then we're going to play some Minecraft. I hope you're warm and cozy wherever you're at. Hopefully watching the Packers kick some ass. Oh, they're showing clips of the Bears Lions now. Yeah. That had to hurt for Bears fans. Come on, Minecraft, let's load. I'm in my base that I call the Dark Tower base. Let's go ahead and sleep so we can get outside. And it's still raining. Oh well. So right here I'm on a little island, which is really fun. What is that? Why is there a monster up in my roof? It doesn't make sense. But this island is my favorite base in this world. It's surrounded by some cool stuff, and I call it the Dark Tower base because I'm building this tower out of deep slate. Which right now is also a doghouse. Welcome to my doghouse. And at one point in time, this room is where I'm going to put my my enchantment table and all the bookshelves. And right after I built it and I put the next floor on up above, I screwed up and I didn't have any torches in here, so I came up once and there was a creeper in here and it blew stuff up, and I still haven't finished repairing that. I could get to that today. So we got another level, and I'm just going to keep going up and up as high as I want. I'll probably like build like an observation deck at a certain height so I can like go out and see what's going on, because it's going to be so high that you're not going to be able to see much around it. It's going to be stupid high. I don't know what happens up there, but we're going to find out. This whole island down there, you can see I got my... Let's get the shield out of the way. Shields are cool, but they obstruct your vision. I got a series of farms down there. I got some carrots, some potatoes, and some wheat. There's some chickens and a cow. I need to get another cow on the island somehow. I guess I just need it to spawn on the island. And all of these trees I planted, most of them are spruce. It happens to be my favorite tree in the game. And that's kind of a little shack. And then I got a tunnel underneath that house that goes down to like diamond layer, like -60 or wherever it is, and goes like thousands of blocks in that direction. I got is where my hunting lodge is. If you saw me stream before, the hunting lodge is way over there, and this tunnel is going to go all the way there sooner or later. And I'll get some redstone tracks, railroad tracks over there, so I can have fun and go back and forth real quick. So that's why I call it the Dark Tower. Kinda named after Stephen King's Dark Tower. If you haven't read the books, they're brilliant. For sure. We're going to carry some stuff up there, and we're going to keep working on that after I check for cows. So I'm desperate to be breeding cows. I'm with this llama guy's always here. Get out of here, dude. You don't have what I need. Maybe the cows aren't coming because I've got too many trees now. I don't know. It used to spawn a lot of animals, and now it just doesn't. And it's kind of sad. Do cows swim? Will cows swim across the ocean blue? There's only one way to find out. So anyway, yeah, Packers-Bears. I did not watch the game. I was helping my parents with some different stuff, cooking and Christmas decorations. We got like 20 bins up from the basement, just filled with Christmas. We're going to help them put them up on Sunday when I take the kids there. But the Bears game was on early in the first quarter, and it was like not good. It was what you would expect, right? The Lions are going to cream them, and it was looking pretty bad. And it was kind of, oh, well, yeah, this is what you expect. Didn't really watch the game after that until like the last minute or so. And it was a complete shocker. The Bears had come back somehow. The Bears had come back, and they decided that they wanted to win the game, and they almost did it. They were, like 40 yards away from the end zone, and, like one good play away from being able to kick a field goal and put it into overtime. And then they fucked it up at the last minute. The quarterback should have called a timeout or something, or the coach. Like, somebody should have, like, stepped in for real. Like there was some negligence there, not malfeasance, that's not a good word for it, but some negligence, some poor coaching and poor quarterback play. And when it was all said and done, the announcers were kind of ragging on him pretty hard, and it's like, well, yeah, and they're professionals, and they should do that, but at the same time, like, nobody expected him to be in the game. And early in the game, like, I almost, like, nobody cared because, the Bears are going to get their ass kicked. And, yeah, you don't get, like, an award for coming close but losing. But at the very least, you'd think that would be tempered, like, the criticism would be tempered at the end. But the whole frame was just, oh, the Bears fucked it up. The Bears suck, which, they kind of do. But the whole point is it's a good example of frame. And how, at the end of the game, the people reporting it decided to frame it a certain way. And that's what you saw it as. But if you really... Oh, they will come. If you really want to have a more objective view of what happened, the other part is also true. That the Bears did come back. And they made it a game. And it was close. And, like, I think their fans should take heart in that. And... like, to some extent, it's like the announcers want to tell a story. I get that. That's their job. But it's I thought it was a good example of frame, which is something that I didn't really understand until the last couple of years. And I first heard of it actually in the context of, like, pursuing women and holding your frame. And, like, when you're being shit tested, not to just fall for it, but be like, whatever, This is my world. You're just living in it. You're the player character, not the NPC. And I saw an article earlier today that talked about frame in the context of how we look at, like, what's going on in the world, and how, like, Fox News will establish the frame that we're being invaded, while it very easily could also be it's a humanitarian crisis. What's going on in these other countries, and how we're just not equipped, and the world isn't equipped to handle what's going on and the needs of these people. So, like, invaded is a pretty fucking strong word. These people aren't coming with guns. They're not coming for our land. They're not coming to kill us. Like, invasion is something an army does, and this is not armies coming to destroy us. But it's just something to be aware of in terms of media literacy. Beware of the frame, regardless of where you get your news. It could be a place that's conservative or liberal, but just keep in mind the concept of frame. And somebody's trying to give you some facts, but for the most part, they're establishing a frame that defines the whole narrative. And if you get a mouthpiece like Fox News and Twitter, or X, excuse me, sorry, Twitter, hate to diss your memory, but you get enough sites kind of, get the hell, you chicken, you're going to die if you go out there and disappear. I tell you, somebody's going to knife you. But if you get enough people establishing the narrative and the frame like that, that kind of sets how we think about things. You're going to die. You can't all get in. There's a limited space. Come on. One at a time. Come on, buddy. Get in here. Don't look at your dead body. Look at me. I got the wheat. I got the wheat. Come on. So mind the frame, people. Mind the frame. It defines how you think. That's how people decide what you think about, and therefore what you think. And establish the whole argument parameters itself. Is it the Bears are awful and they really fucked up and they should have won? Or is it the Bears did pretty good? They screwed some stuff up at the end, sure. But overall, let us also not forget that they did pretty good. And if it's about a football game, like, big deal. Who cares what the narrative is? You want to hate them? Hate them. Nobody, it's not the end of the world. That's rivalry. It's a sport. It's a game. But like when we're talking about public policy, it's not a game. You do want to understand something from multiple frames. Otherwise, you're being played. So, go Bears. As long as you're not playing the Packers, I don't care. Anyway, now we've also learned that, yes, cows, they swim slow, but you can certainly get them to cross the water. And now I've got cows and chickens, enough to breed. You escaped. That's what you get. I'm going to kill you with a bow. Not even an arrow, just a bow. This is my original garden. Before I had iron for a bucket. You can see over here I got my nice sugarcane island. I thought it was pretty cool. I think I got a nice aesthetic going on here. I'm digging it. And that stuff can go in there because it's edible. What else happened today? Javis. Javis is awesome. He had a chore. Well, he has chores. I helped hook him up with a really nice laptop. And in return, he's supposed to be doing a certain amount of chores every month above and beyond, like keeping his room clean and fun stuff like that. Usually it's the dishes. And today, in the morning, he came down at 7:30. It was pretty early for him. I was totally stoked. The first thing he says is he had watched the movie Whiplash last night, which is about jazz. And I introduced him to jazz, and he's heard it before and kind of liked it. And it like reignited his passion for jazz. And he created a 70-song playlist on Spotify that's all jazz. And all of it's like, all that I heard is really good. Really good. Boy's got good taste. Come to think of it, if you watched the movie last night and they made a 70-song playlist, did he sleep last night? Anyway, so he comes down, and I'm all happy with him because he had a newfound love for jazz. And we're going to have some coffee and cake for breakfast because it's Thanksgiving. Why the hell not? And like I knew I was going to play Minecraft, and I'm building that dark tower, right? But I needed a lot more cobbled deep slate. And that's kind of drudgery to go down that low and just mine deep slate and mine deep slate. I cut Javis a deal. I said, Javis, I tell you what, he was going to do the dishes. He offered to do the dishes. And I was happy that he was so cool about it. And I said, Javis, you know what? If you mine deep slate for me, I'll do the dishes. You don't have to worry about it. So I ended up doing the dishes, and Javis played Minecraft for about a half hour and got me a ton of deep slate. and some diamonds and other fun stuff. I don't know that I'll do that again, but it was kind of, I felt like the cool dad in a decent way to be like, dude, you wanna do me a favor? You play Minecraft. That's your chore on Thanksgiving. And he did. And my boy did good. He did good. So now I think I want to keep building my tower. I don't want to go mining. I got a lot. I got mainly deep slate and dark spruce is what I need to keep building it. So that's what we're going to do. If you're along for the ride, that's what we're going to do today. Thanks to Javis. Oh, we don't want the cobbled stuff. We want the polished stuff. We don't need to take it all. We're going to take some spruce. It is still raining. What is up with that? What is up with that? What else did I do today? I made some videos and some images. Absolutely like starting to feel really comfortable with Photoshop and Premiere Pro and the whole Adobe suite. I got a sweet laptop that runs them really fast. That helps. I can whip out stuff in no time. I got a lot to learn, especially with Photoshop. I think I'm better with Premiere Pro because I've used that more. But I will be getting my money's worth out of those, that's for sure. This Thanksgiving, I'm most grateful. Yeah, that happened today. I got my YMCA membership. No joiner fee. I'm in this rhythm now where I do the YMCA during the winter to take the place of some of my running. I still run outside. It was like 15, 20 degrees tonight, and I still ran outside. It's all good. A little bit of suffering's good for you, right? But I like to shake it up a little bit so I don't get burnt out. A couple of years ago, I had this idea that maybe one day I'd run a triathlon, but I never knew how to run. I never knew how to swim with my face in the water, so that's why I decided to start going to the YMCA in the winters. And now I can, and now I'm getting better at swimming, and it still might happen someday. I haven't committed to the goal yet, but it might happen. And it's been a while since I swam, but I'm going to look at their schedule, maybe head there tomorrow and shake it up a little bit. All right, here we go. I did some research at the YMCA. It's pretty cool. They've got 2030 vision or vision 2030 or something like that. And it's pretty positive. If you check it out, it's the kind of thing I can get behind. In large part, it kind of mirrors the UN sustainability goals. And I just think it's pretty positive. And in addition to being a nice place to swim, I can get behind the organization because of that. I dig it. I remember going there as a kid. My parents had a membership when we were in Monroe. I took my kids there when they were younger. Elena did some martial arts. And all three of the kids did flag football. I coached all of them in flag football. It was super fun. Lelena was my first coaching in flag football, and that That was challenging the first time I coached her. So I get there, and my wife at the time was coaching volleyball inside at the same time. So I didn't, I'm coaching my daughter, and I didn't have any help with her on the sidelines, which the sidelines wasn't the problem. The problem was Lelena was the only girl on the team, and there were other girls there on other teams, but not very many. And perhaps in part because of that, she wasn't doing very well with flag football, and she is crying and not happy, and I didn't have a lot of time to focus on her because I had to coach everyone, and I couldn't just take care of her like I wanted to. But I guess I did the only thing I really could do. I was the only coach there. I was responsible for all those kids. I just sent her over to the sidelines, and I trusted the other adults in the place could help take care of her. And they did when she was on the sidelines. And she did calm down, and she did come back out, and she did play. And I think it was good, I don't know, in part kind of show her, hey, man, I'm here. I've got a responsibility. It's not just to you. As much as I love you, I can't set it down and ignore everyone else just to take care of you, and also for me to get comfortable knowing that, hey, I the YMCA and the people there, I trusted them to be supportive of my daughter on the sidelines while I was out there coaching. So in the end, it was a happy story. At the time, it was a little hard to deal with for reasons, but we survived. I think that was my first real volunteer type thing where I was just they had a parents meeting for flag football, and one of the things they said is, we never have enough coaches. We need coaches. If you have any interest, you should coach. And my kids are in it. I could coach. Somebody has to. And, I played football, so I felt somewhat qualified to do it. And it was pretty cool. It's not as easy. I mean, it's not hard. It's not nerve-wracking, the consequences are high or anything like that. But it is difficult from a leadership perspective, coaching flag football to kids, because they're 5 years old, and it is literally like herding cats, and none of them knows what they're doing. If you're playing soccer with kids, it's just go run after the ball and kick it and get it down there, and don't run each other over. It's pretty easy. But if you think about flag football, it's well, this is your role, and you have to do this, and this is your role, and you have to do this, and by the time you get 3 people in, the first person you gave directions to has no idea what you told them anymore, and they're wandering off picking daisies in the other half of the field. So it is an exercise in getting the instructions out quick and simply, and going back and reminding people, and it was pretty cool. It was a good experience. If you ever get the chance, I highly recommend it. Youth sports in general is a good way to start getting experience with leadership skills. Kids are pretty easy in some regards. They're not as complex. They're pretty straightforward. And the things you're trying to teach them to do are fairly simple too, right? Sometimes in the working world, being a leader can be a little bit harder than that. So it's good to cut your teeth in an environment with kids. Relatively low stakes and an easy assignment. What's up, doggies? What do we need? We need ladders. Going higher. I think pretty soon I'm going to want to build an observation deck and figure out how I'm going to do that. I got an idea, but I'm not quite sure. This is maybe a good height. Maybe one more one higher. I don't know. We'll do one more. Then we'll do it. Oops. The Dark Tower. Yes, I'm a coach. I look at it like your teacher. I take that as a compliment. If you like your teacher, if not, be kind to your teacher. He probably deserves it. It's a tough job. I did flag football. I also coached soccer. Um, this was when my daughter was like 11 and 12 years old. It's what they call classic. So this is when it's starting to be competitive. It's not 11 on 11 yet, but we do play people from other cities, and it is a bit more like you practice like 3 times a week at least, and you play a game every week, and you do a tournament. So it's a little bit more involved than like the YMCA soccer that she was in. That was another thing where they didn't really have enough people. And I'm like, hey, it's sports. I don't know soccer, and I didn't know soccer. All I knew is there's a ball and you kick it at the goal. That's about it. I didn't know what the positions were. I didn't know how you're supposed to play. I didn't know many of the rules. So I talked to him at the club, and I'm like, I can coach, and I know you need 2 coaches, but I don't really know what's going on in soccer, so I'll be like the assistant coach. And they were like, okay, wink, wink, and I didn't get the wink, wink. So I showed up to be the assistant coach, and they're like, oh, the other coach can't be here today, so you're on your own, and he'll show up sometimes, and he'll help you with the stuff you don't know, but you're the coach, all right? I'm like, okay, we got this. And I went to, they were cool. They gave me training to be a soccer coach at that level in Wisconsin. To play or to coach club soccer, you have to have a license, an actual license that says you know how to coach somewhat, and you're not just defrauding kids of money and putting them in dangerous situations. So they sent me to this training Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This really cool guy came, and like you could tell, like he was passionate about the game. It was just fun to hear him talk about soccer, and it made you like love soccer and want to coach. And it was really cool. And the first 2 days, or the first day and a half, was primarily like classroom stuff. And I get in this class, and imagine this is like 10 years ago. So I'm in my late to mid 30s, right? I weigh like 100 pounds more. I smoke cigarettes. I had for like 2 decades at that time. And I show up, and everybody else that's there to coach soccer is in their 20s. They played in college. They know what they're doing, and they're in great shape. So I had the hardest time keeping up with them. I actually, after the second day, my body just broke down. Like second day ended, I went straight to bed when I got home, and I woke up early the next day, and I felt like crap. I could not move. It was not good at all. And I had to call them and be like, dude, I cannot go. Can I finish this some other time? He's like, yeah, you can come do the third day in a couple of months when we have another class. And it's somewhere I got to drive to instead of in my local town. It's not a big deal. Well, the third day is fun. This is where like you've learned mainly what they teach you isn't about the rules of the game so much. It's about how to be a coach and how you coach people specifically to play soccer and things you need to know to be a coach. So, and they did divide it out, and there's like different elements of the game, like aerial serves and passing and shooting the ball and like very technical things, right? And they like touched on it, and they touched on like how defense was organized. But this last day was the people learning or trying to get their certificate to be a coach. Everybody had to pick one of those technical things like aerial serves or defending, and they had to teach the rest of the participants in the class how to do it. And the big thing when you're coaching that they're teaching you when you're going through drills or you're scrimmaging, especially scrimmaging, is that you're scrimmaging and you've got an objective where that day you've ran them through drills and you're trying to teach them a specific skill. And when you set up the scrimmage and when it's going on, you're watching for somebody to do that technique wrong. And what you need to do is freeze it. You tell everybody to freeze. Shout real loud in your coach's voice. Everybody stop, 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 stay where you are. And you back them up a little bit and you walk them through where they did something wrong. You ask them what they should have done. And then you back them up again and tell them to play on and watch them do it well. So when we're teaching the other people how to play soccer, you're looking for that person that messes it up. So naturally, everyone else around me knows what they're doing. They're soccer players. They're good, right? What's going on here? They're good, and I'm really not. So I was what they would call Mr. Teachable Moment. Every single drill that we did that day, I was the one that they stopped and they taught me how to do it, made me do it again right, and carry on. And I got through my coaching like good enough, I guess, because I got my license. But there was one. I remember it very distinctly. It was aerial serve, and before we started doing the scrimmage, like I could see like people were like, "Yeah, when we want to get this over with, just send it to Travis, and he'll screw this up, and we'll get the teachable moment, and we'll be done." And they served it to me, and I nailed it. And they did it again, and I nailed it again. The one thing that I was really good at was aerial serves. For whatever reason, I was like, they were beautiful. They were coming off of my foot, going across the field, nice high arc. Beautiful shots. And that was how I got my license. I coached for like two and a half years. It was pretty fun. I got better at it over time. I think, like, looking critically at my ability to coach, what I was really good at was, like, getting people pumped up, getting them excited was something I'm pretty good at. And also, when we were in games, it was very natural for me. Like, I'm a good critical thinker. And it was easy for me to look at what we did and say, oh my God, we're getting killed on set pieces. We can't defend set pieces. We can't do them. They're pretty important to the game. We need to practice set pieces. So I could understand what the team needed, but I didn't really know a bunch of drills, and I wasn't good at saying, well, here's a drill we should do, and I can lead them through doing this drill very well. It was hard for me to do that piece of it for whatever reason. Thankfully, that's where I could get some help from my assistant coach. And the club also at the time had signed a contract with an organization in the UK called Challenger, I think. And they had people that were excellent trained coaches. I remember Ian was the one that coached one year, and all the kids loved these coaches, and they did a fantastic job. And you could tell them, hey, we want to work on this, and be like, okay, I'll whip up a plan and we'll make it happen. And even like filling some of the other gaps, like I wasn't I was good at getting them excited about things, but if there was too much talk or too much kind of lollygagging, like I didn't command enough respect. I had a hard time, I guess, like cracking the whip on 11-year-old girls. And he like helped identify that and helped correct it a little bit. So it was another thing I kind of learned, that I had to be more demanding, regardless of the age, if you're a coach. You gotta demand it. So 5 stars for Ian in the Challenger group. They did a great job. I think that's the end of my coaching career, really. Now I coach like at work. It's a little bit different, but I'm a enterprise architect is my title. I do IT stuff, and it's kind of it's not a managerial role. Nobody reports to me, but there is an aspect of leadership to it where I am setting direction for how we do things and what we do to some extent, and I'm also mentoring people and evaluating them and trying to get them to progress in their career, developing soft skills and technical skills, identifying what they need, and also putting them in situations where I have the opportunity to. I don't really dictate what they do, but I can kind of have some say about how they do it and give them guidance along the way. Examples were like, they ask a question or they're having a hard time with something, and instead of just giving them the answer, I'm trying to ask them questions that will let them think about what they have to do and come up with the right answer on their own. And that's coaching. I think leadership in general is coaching. They say leaders make leaders, and to do that, one of the things you're going to have to do is coach people. So keep that in mind when you get in that spot. Coaching is a useful skill. Parenting is a lot like coaching. I mean, really, no lie. You don't want to teach your kids what to think. You want to teach them to think on their own. So we're just about done with this. I think I'm gonna get this next level kind of started, and then we'll go check out something else. The Dark Tower is cool, but there's other fun to have. Yeehaw! I could build an enchantment table, bookshelves. That's what I needed the cows for, because I need a lot more leather. I need the cows, and I need my sugar cane. I need to get that rolling so I can build my enchantment table. It's always like I don't do the Ender Dragon. I don't have time for that. That's not my thing. I like to build stuff, but I don't like creative, because it's almost too easy, and it puts all the pressure on, like, oh, what funky things could I do? And if it's survival and you've got to go get the stuff, even if you have to get your son to go do the work for you, it just seems to be a little bit more fun, because I like to earn it. I don't like to be given things. And this would be a good level for the observation deck too. So I'm going to stop working on this right now. I could probably jump out and hit the water, do you think? I'm not going to try today. Whee! What else is cool, people? How's your Thanksgiving? I didn't eat turkey. Did anybody else not eat turkey? I did not eat turkey. I got my electric car lower than I ever have before. I will admit I've had some range anxiety the entire time I've owned it, because it's not like you can just go to a gas station and fill up. But in the end, like, it's always worked out well. I went to my parents' house. It's like 60 miles away. And by the time I got home, I was down to 20 miles, and that's the lowest I've ever gotten it. And I was a little nervous even when I left then, because the the range isn't as great during the winter. If you've got the heat cranked and all this other stuff, there's a potential for problems. Or for your range to go down faster, let's say. So the whole way home, I was kind of clocking it and watching it, and there was a differential of about 20 miles, and it was going between 22 and 20 miles the whole way home. Like, oh, you've only got 20 miles difference, but by the time I got home, it was up to 24, but it was still pretty close. I was a little nervous, but it was good to start getting more comfort with it, I guess. It worked. And I'm super lucky. In Kaukauna, they've got a hydroelectric dam. Like, it's pretty close to my house. So, like, pretty much free power. I mean, they got to maintain it, but it's not like they need fuel to make power. The water does it. The water is just there. And, oh, that's that. Oh, no, not that. And they've got 4 chargers downtown that are free. You get free electricity to recharge your car. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'm a fan. So I plugged it in down there tonight. We'll see how full it can get overnight. Yeehaw! Electric car. Do, do, do. So good so far. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty lucky. Come here, chickens. I need feathers. Are we breeding? I know there's another way to do this. I forget what it is, but I like doing that. It's pretty cool. Alright, so we breeded, we're building, ooh, look at that tower, isn't that nice? Isn't that lovely? I don't have, call it the killing fields. At my hunting lodge, I've got like fields that are pretty much all cut bare. Where if I want to level up and kill a bunch of mobs, I go there to do it. I think here, maybe I'd do it across this little body of water. Who knows? Where are we at here? Maybe getting a little played out. I have limited capacity to play Minecraft. It's fun, but after a while I'm like, okay. What do I tell my kids, you know what my favorite game is? My favorite game is real life. Dude, there is no end of the things you can do in real life. And it's infinitely stackable. Like, you can progress and progress and progress as far as you want. And I got a bunch of pictures. I took some pictures today at my parents' house for Thanksgiving. And I got some pictures too. I found I don't really have a lot of pictures of when I was young. And there's a box full of them at my parents' house. And there's pictures of my brother and my other family too, but I want to get it set up so I can use my nice camera to kind of digitize all of that so I have those pictures forever. And my brother does too, right? Like something happens at my parents' house, we'll still have all that stuff. So I want to get that going. What else? I had some other things. What do I got? Range anxiety. Oh, there we go. I saw an article this morning talking about how, who's that? Who's that? That's my mom. Hey, Mom.
Hey, did you eat the rest of your meatballs?
I ate 3 of them for dinner,
Did you?
and then I went for a
Okay.
run. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured you'd probably go for a run. So, so Rocky, glad to get home?
Yeah. The front seat in my car isn't quite big enough for him. I mean, he kind of sits
Oh,
down, but it's not fully comfortable. He
can
doesn't
he sit?
complain because he's a champion like that, but
Yeah, can't he sit in the back?
he probably could. He likes being up by me, though.
Oh, okay. Alrighty, so JV home already?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, okay. Well, so was it busy on the way home or no?
Not really.
No, got the Packer game on?
Yeah, I'm not paying too much attention. I'm playing
Yeah,
Minecraft. I turned the sound
yeah,
down, but
yeah,
they're up 7-0, and they got the ball.
yeah. I
That's
was
good.
watching it, but I just can't get comfortable. My knees starting to get sore, and I just can't. So I might go to bed and put it up for a little while.
Yeah.
So it's just not being comfortable. So Karen
Sorry
and
to
the
hear
kids
that.
stopped up, and I had my house a mess. I don't care though.
Yeah, it doesn't. They
Yeah,
don't care.
yeah, yeah. So
They're
it's
there to
nice to
decorate
stay.
your house. That's the biggest mess, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So, well, I'm gonna let you go. I gotta get up off this chair. It's just uncomfortable. So,
All right.
okay. All right. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
See you, Mom. Yeah, it's about that time. I'm gonna shut it down. So, thanks for stopping by. See you next time.